Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I'm your host, Gage Madrid. 3 signings were made by the Denver Broncos yesterday in day 2 of NFL free agency. I already covered the biggest move with the signing of Randy Gregory in its own separate video. You can check that out if you want, link in the description down below. In this video, I want to address the other 2 moves made by the Denver Broncos on Tuesday, March 15th, as I feel both were really good moves. It was announced that the Broncos have re-signed linebacker Josey Jewell to a 2-year, $11 million contract, including $6 million in guaranteed money. Adding to the moves, it was also announced that the Broncos have agreed to terms with tight end Eric Tomlinson on a 1-year contract. Terms of the Tomlinson deal have yet to be disclosed, but it figures to be somewhere around the veteran minimum. We'll discuss how I feel about both signings as well as other moves I could foresee the team making. But before we get into that, a couple of housekeeping matters to attend to. We are trying to grow this community and include as many people in the conversation as possible, so I do ask a couple of favors of you. A like on this video would be greatly appreciated. It would really go a long way. If you would like to add to the conversation, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to interact with you. And speaking of interaction, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for more coverage of our Denver Broncos as well as the NFL in general. And with that out of the way, let's get into the rest of the video. First, I want to talk about the Josey Jewell re-signing, and if you watched my Broncos should bring these players back video, then you know that I was a huge proponent of bringing Jewell back. In Jewell's 4 seasons here, I felt he brought really nice play at the linebacker position. Jewell was able to find himself into the starting lineup full-time in 2020, where he started all 16 games for us at the Mike linebacker position. Jewell was also the green dot on defense beginning in 2020, so he was responsible for receiving the play call into his helmet and getting everyone on the defense aligned and on the same page. Pro Football Focus really thought highly of Jewell's play in 2021, which was the 13th best ranking out of 83 eligible inside linebackers. Entering training camp last season, Jewell was really beginning to come into his own in that role. He was having an outstanding camp and was flying around making plays left and right. He was consistently in the backfield wreaking havoc, and he was making plays in coverage, and it overall looked like Jewell was primed for a breakout season in 2021. Unfortunately, that all came to a screeching halt in Week 2 against the Jacksonville Jaguars when Jewell suffered a season-ending pectoral injury. In the 1.5 games that Jewell played, however, he was on a tear. PFF had high regards for him in pass rush and in coverage, with him posting 77 and 84.6 grades respectively. They were not as high on him as a run defender, only grading him a 57.6, but I definitely feel that that isn't the most accurate mark for Jewell. Jewell's run defense has been one of the more positive things that he brings to the table when you watch his tape, and it sticks out big time. This is one of those scenarios where the numbers and the tape conflict with each other, and when that happens, generally I will side with the tape. Jewell is now poised to earn $5.5 million APY over these next 2 seasons. I feel that is a very fair number for both parties, especially for a player coming off of a season-ending injury like Jewell is. Jewell figures to plug in and play at bare minimum a starting level for us at the Mike linebacker position this year. I feel this was an excellent move in terms of value. In the day and age of the pass-happy NFL, where offenses are playing more 11 and 12 personnel, and as a result, defenses are playing more nickel and dime, the Mike linebacker position, while still valuable, isn't as coveted of a position as it once was. This is why I am a big fan of value moves such as this at these types of positions. As far as Eric Tomlinson is concerned, I am quite intrigued by this move, as it fills a pretty big void for us. Although Tomlinson is set to provide depth to a tight end room that just lost Noah Fant to the Seattle Seahawks, Tomlinson and Fant could not be more different players. Tomlinson's greatest asset comes as a blocker, which has been a need for the Broncos for some time, although I do feel that Eric Saubert did a nice job in that role for us last season. Like Saubert, Tomlinson does not bring a ton of value in the passing game, having only recorded 207 receiving yards in the NFL over 7 seasons. Tomlinson has bounced around the league after entering as an undrafted free agent with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2015, having stints with 7 different teams before joining the Broncos. Tomlinson was most recently with the Baltimore Ravens, where he had spent the better part of the last 2 seasons. Tomlinson was regarded as an elite blocker in the Ravens' run-heavy scheme. PFF graded him the second best run-blocking tight end last season, where he posted a mark of 77.3. As mentioned earlier, the deal figures to be around the veteran minimum, and I feel that Tomlinson will be able to see a pretty high number of snaps, particularly in the run game. I really like this move by the Denver Broncos. So overall, 2 moves I'm a very big fan of by the Broncos. Josey Jewell fills our need at Mike linebacker for a very reasonable price, and Eric Tomlinson fills a role that we have been struggling to fill for some time now in a blocking tight end. As far as needs that I still feel the team could look towards free agency to fill, the strong safety and the nickel positions are still 2 glaring needs that this roster needs. I would definitely sniff around both of these markets to see if there's anyone available who may fit our scheme there. As far as safeties are concerned, by far and away, Tyrann Mathieu is the best player available. In terms of nickel, re-signing Bryce Callahan could be a very real possibility, or perhaps it's very possible you could look towards the draft to fill these voids. It's a very interesting conversation, and I would love to get your opinions. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, Broncos Country. Be sure to leave a like on this video, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin' Over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.